Alright guys, one question that I get asked a fair bit is, with social media, how can I get more eyes on me with promoters and event organisers? The answer that I give is a question back. Who would you pick if you're in their shoes? So if you're a promoter or an event organiser, which artist would you pick out of these two, with social media being the only factor? So you've got a social media page that's got very subpar average quality content, so pretty grainy photos, low light video, sound, and then you've got next to them, you've got a different artist that's going for the same job with professional lighting, really well thought out videos, and really great sound. Which artist would you pick out of those two? And on top of that, let's say followers aren't anything to do with it. This one could have like 50, this one could have 50, this one could have 500, this one could have 500. Which one would you pick out of those two? And also, in saying that, this also translates into other industries like weddings, birthdays, functions, that kind of thing. Like for myself personally, if I was going to get someone for my wedding in music world, I would go for the artist that is posting up more quality content and looking more professional in their delivery online than I would over someone that's posting up some pretty average content. Just because to me, that would make me feel more comfortable that they're going to be the more professional artist on the day out of the two. And it's not even a thing of this one with the professional content's been doing it for 10 years and the one with the average content's been doing it for 6 months. Like, if they've been doing it for 6 months and they've got professional quality content, and I see someone that's been doing it for 10 years and they've got professional quality content, then I'll even up the playing field. I'll be like, okay, this dude's playing more of the recent hits. This guy's playing more of the classics. Like, you know, that's where the decision lies, not necessarily out of the content that they're posting. So it makes a difference. To sum this up, first impressions count. It's as simple as that. First impressions count. If you can get me beyond that point to then be deciding, okay, I want this guy over this guy because of the songs he plays, you've got just as much chance as the other guy. But if I don't even go to that next step, you've lost me before you've even got me by any means. So first impressions count. I'll go one step further really quickly as well, is that this also relates with social media discovery. So if you're on Spotify or any of those kind of playlists and you are fortunate enough to get onto a playlist like Discover It Weekly or that kind of thing, if someone comes in and sees you as an artist and they're like, I love this song, that's sweet, I want to check them out on social media. If your social media isn't pulling what they are feeling within that song and why they want to go discover you, they're going to walk away and that's it. But if you're in there and the quality can be like just of you guys with captions all over the screens and whatever, but if they can relate to some kind of emotion that got them to look at you in the first place when they get to your feed, you've got them as well. But if you don't get them in that first impression on your feed, they're just going to keep going. They're going to look for some other artists to follow. They might love your song, they might like it, and that's great, but they're not going to become a follower of your music and what you produce further into the future. So it's really crucial to get this step right. I'll give you a quick little tip as well, is audit your own social media pages. So go through your last like 6 to 9 posts and see what they are and how they relate to what you want to put out there as a band or an artist. And if they do relate to those values and the emotions and the feelings and those kind of things you want to put out there. And then go and have a look at some of the artists that you follow. And see what they've posted up for the last 6 to 9 posts. And see if you kind of relate with what you feel of them as an artist as to what they would feel if they saw you on your page and that kind of thing. So just like kind of comparisons a little bit. I know it's like comparing can be a bit of a, you know, an evil word and like can, you know, on set kind of imposter syndrome, but just like play the comparison game a little bit to see why you are still following that artist and why you haven't stopped following them. What is the content they're posting that is still gripping you? I will end on this note just quickly that if a promoter or that kind of thing is looking to get an artist purely on who they can pull through the door with numbers and fans through the door, they're not going to give a shit about any of that stuff that I've just spoken about. Like, they're just purely going to want heads in the door, and that is the way it is. But for these other kind of festivals and those bigger events, like council style stuff, they're not really concerned about if you're going to bring people along or not. They just want the best quality and the best professional outcome from the artist to make their event a success.